Hi, everyone. Welcome to Light Reiki Healing. My name is Debbie Jo, and today we are going to go over the do's and don'ts of Reiki healing with animals. I feel like it's something that we need to be very aware and mindful of, especially people that are called to this that weren't raised on a farm or around animals of large um, proportions. So let's just delve on into this and get started. So we all know Reiki is an ancient practice of a healing modality, and it's used to help animals as it can be used for humans as well. I like working with energy with animals as well as people. What I do is more of an intuitive approach. And Reiki is just kind of what it is. It's a modality that people that I share with people for the energy healing that I do. When working with animals, you do not know. Super important. It's essential to approach, and I've always got my notes because just like now, I'll scroll. It's essential to approach the practice and the animal, especially on the larger scale of things like horses, cattle, um, different animals at different sizes. You approach them with sensitivity, respect, and really, if it's a new animal that you've never worked with, do a little research about animal behavior before going into the meeting. It's super helpful to understand what their behavior is. I typically help more dogs and horses because those are the animals that have always been with me and I feel comfortable the most with. I know their behaviors inside and out, and that's super important. So we're going to do the list of do's first, and then we'll go to the do nots. So first, you always seek permission. Always ask the animals permission as you enter their space, either verbally or energetically. And that is all behavior, right? So I'm very soft on my approach. I will but I was with a couple horses the other day and I came into the pen and they were like, who are you? What are you about? So I found my way and medicated across their pen for them to come up and be curious about me. So I just kind of moved away from them to bring them into me. And that's just something that I've always done. And you respect their choice if they do not want to receive healing. This is huge. They will let you know if they do not want to receive healing. Sometimes it'll be with a horse because that's what I'm going to use right now as my template. They could blow, they could snort, they could step back, they could raise their head and be like, I don't know. So that's why it's super important when you go into Reiki and healing with the animals that you know their behaviors. You want to, step 2, observe. Spend time observing the animal from a distance before attempting any hands-on or hands-off healing. You have to let them get used to your energy. We carry a lot of energy at all times, especially when you really are pushing and you practice and you start expanding your energy and it starts becoming bigger. It is very offsetting. A lot of times, even with the horses that I have, when I'm having a really good day, I'm like, do, 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 and they're like, what's up? And I was like, who? Bring it back down, Joe. So just be real mindful in that. 3, use a gentle approach. Approach the animal slowly, always, and quietly to avoid startling them. I've had Roy since he was 5, and I've known him since the day he was born, and he was turning 19. I've known Jasper since the day he was born, and he's been with me since he was 1 and he's 5. And my energy can still startle them. They, especially if they're just out grazing and I just go stomping into the pasture, like, I'm here. They're like, what are you doing, Mom? What the? So, animals are very sensitive to sudden movements and energy shifts. So I'm pretty good at being able to notice that my energy is super high. They let me know, and I can shift my energy down, and then it's easy peasy. I just do my thing. 4, use the distant healing. If the animal is wary or maybe very standoffish, some people use the term aggressive. You can use the distant or remote Reiki. And I advise that nobody needs to be getting hurt over healing an animal that isn't sure about what's coming to them. That's why it's super important to seek permission, ask permission from the animal, the owner as well. So you can direct the healing energy from the distance without physical contact. There are symbols for that I call forth for that to be easier. Even then though, like when I'm in my meditation for the healing, I still approach it and combine my animal communication in with approaching the animal. I introduce myself. I'm here on behalf of the owner, use the owner's name. If I have a picture, I send a picture of the owner to say, hey, they're here for me to help you. What's going on? So I have 2 modalities I wrap into animal healing. So number 5, start from a distance when it's a new horse, cow, camel, whatever it is, dog. Begin by offering Reiki from a distance. And then you can tell or gauge, because they'll typically, especially standoffish, never been there, never had it done ever before. Like, you do it from a distance and you do it softly, and they'll mitigate to you. Like, especially when you're standing and you're just who you are. And the more you practice and expand your energy circle, they'll just naturally start coming to you. It's just an authentic process, right? 6, respect their space. Respecting the animal's space, personal space, and their boundaries. Do not force them to stay close to you. If they come to you and they're like, ooh, okay, I feel you, and you kind of increase the intensity of the energy coming through and they mitigate out, you just follow them with the energy, just keep sending it to them, just stay centered, allow them to go where they feel comfortable, safe, because we do this, it's invasive, like it's not to be invasive, right? We're very soft with our approach. And respectful, because even like some people don't want to be healed. Some people are just okay being who they are, right? And so it's super important to respect that boundary and seek permission. Pay attention to their reactions. Watch the animal's reactions during the session. Signs of acceptance may include relaxation. Horses will yawn. They will defecate or take a poop, if you want to say it that way. Cats will start purring. I do have a new cat now, and she's super cool with the energy, very leery at first. And then she comes in and she's just real purry and just wants to be around it. Or like if they're anxious, like they're like, "Ooh, I don't know what you are," but then they kind of just relax into themselves and say, "I still don't know what you are," but their physical being and the reduction in anxiety of a new being and person that's, holding all the power, like you're pushing universal life force energy through you, and you're not really pushing, you're just calling it forward and it's going through. Anyways, squirrel. Be patient. Some animals may take time to open up to the energy healing. In person, it's typically no less than an hour. For me to drive And me to get to a farm, I'm there for an hour with one animal. Especially if it's new animals, and I'm just kind of just what I do for that new animals, and there's more than one. On my drive, I'm already approaching and getting settled into the flow of energy. Like I'm already feeling in, I'm already just softly emitting. So when I pull in, even when I'm driving onto a farm, and if I'm late, which I'm never really late, but if I'm late, I'm very mindful about how I drive my vehicle up the driveway. That energy is something that the horses especially will feel. So go very slow up driveways, just a note for you, and be very mindful that you slowly open your door, because sometimes animals and people are not accustomed to feeling that kind of life force energy flowing through someone. Okay. And they could be like, whoa, you're bright, or you're powerful, or you're this. And so I get in a really calm approach, even upon driving into a driveway. Be patient and allow them to set the pace, right? So that's why it's typically an hour. Because I'm familiar with horses and I've worked around horses my whole life. It's pretty much in 5 minutes, they're in my face and they're like, hey, who are you? How are you? Huh? What's up? You got me. I know you can hear me. Because I use intuition. Like the number 9 point is use intuition. Trust your intuition when working with the animals. You may receive guidance and where to focus the healing energy. So, typically when I'm working with an animal and I do a scan of the body, like I'll feel into where it is, and that they'll show you after you scan them, especially a horse. You've got to do both sides, right? Because they're so large. Cows are so large. All your large animals, you have to do both sides. And I scan the chakras and within the animal, and I can feel into, okay, that's where that's at. So we're just going to sit here and we're just going to send more energy to that particular spot to move out that stagnant block and let it flow on through, right? So intuition is super important, especially even with small animals. Like my little kitten, she will let you know when she is done. She's like, okay, I've had enough of your light rays. She'll be like, I'm out. So it's just entertaining to me. So, and number 10, learn animal behavior. I know I just said this a little bit ago, but study and understand the behavior and body language of the specific animal species you're working with. This is also animals this is mostly, this channel is animals, but I do help people as well. And behavior therapy, books about behavior therapy, about different signs of, how people are being like, I carry a lot of, I'll come in because a lot of times I want to, when I'm not participating in healing, I am a little bit more inward. I'm an introvert by nature, and extrovert on some occasions. So different animals may have different needs. And with that, they will have different responses, right? So those are the do's, because they're very important to your growth as a practitioner as you expand on your journey with working with animals and people, may that be, because it's super important. And I like to say this, especially working with the animals, I help animals and their humans. Animals do take on a lot of energetic stuff from their humans, their peoples, and they help try to transmute it. And it's not just the animal's energy that you're working with, you're also working with the person that is tending, caring, and being participative in the animal's care of daily life. And sometimes in hunter jumper dressage barns, it's the caretakers that I have to kind of feel into, not the owner itself, because the caretakers are in more of an energetic exchange than the owners. So those are mindful, just little tidbits. And I can do a video on that maybe later. So now we're going to go into the don'ts, because as much as we have do's, we have don'ts. So number one, do not be forceful. No forceful contact. Never force physical contact with the animal. Like, one time I was kind of coaching somebody, and they were like, the owner was like, "Oh no, here, you just need to stand." Okay, look, just be real respectful with the owner. And I was like, well, actually, right now I'm feeling like maybe if there's a stall or a quiet place, could the horse and I just hang out together? And I'm just giving you an example because I feel like it's super important, because a lot of times, we as owners will be like, all right, now you be a good boy or you be a good girl and you stand here because we're going to get some energy moving for you. But it's powerful energy coming through. If you're a practitioner, right? You've seen the results yourself. Or if you're looking and searching in modalities for helping your animals, just know this is a lot of intense energy coming through and for the animal. And it can make them move around. They'll like want to go around their owner. Like, I don't know about what this is. So step back, retract, just pull your energy back in and just feel like, okay, let's just go graze for a second. Let's just go out underneath a tree. And do not do hands-on with that animal, right? Like, just respect them. It's still right there. You're that powerful. You're that loving. You're still going to be mitigating energy through the animal, and it's just as powerful. Do not crowd or like corner, avoid cornering or crowding the animal. This can cause fear and stress and make them tighten up, right? This is supposed to be a loving thing. So I'm doing don'ts because you would think that they're universally known, but with animals, it's a little different, So 3, Reiki in stressful environments. Don't do it. Avoid performing Reiki in a stressful or a chaotic environment, as it may not be effective and the animal may not be receptive. So super important to understand, especially if you're a new place or a new barn and you're seeking energy healing for your animals. I typically, especially, I'm a morning person first and foremost. Secondly, like if it's a busy show barn, it's and there's a lot of chaos and banging and all that going on, it would be better to schedule the healing around feed time, quiet time, after feed time, grazing on hay, kind of the barn settling down, or first thing in the morning before the barn starts getting real crazy. So typically, depending on the barn style, depends also when that appointment would be scheduled, right? So, number 4 that you don't do: prolonged sessions. Keep Reiki sessions short, especially for animals you don't know well. Long sessions can be overwhelming. Okay, yet again, the session in itself depends on the animal. But like in my case, my hour window is super important because I have a time frame within it, because I'm gearing up to the session, because there's about a 30-minute introduction period, 15 to 30 minutes. And I'm kind of just hanging out, talking to the owner. I'm mitigating around the animal. I'm just kind of, if they're allowing me to pet them, I'm petting them, but I'm already kind of practicing like very softly, working with the energy and introducing them to it. So even though I'm there for an hour, the session's about 30 minutes. So per animal. Number 5, do not disregard for body language. Pay close attention to the animal's body language. Again, do not disregard it. That is very, like, do pay attention to it. Do not disregard it. If they show signs of discomfort, anxiety, or aggression, stop the session immediately. Cut it off, bring it back down, and just stop. I promise you, you will be thankful for me to tell you this. Don't have noisy or energetic distractions. So this kind of goes back with don't do Reiki in stressful environments. Minimize external distractions, loud noises, sudden movements, or other animals during the Reiki session. So an owner came in and just one time and had 2 horses right there, right? I typically like to work one-on-one, but they're buddies. So I had them separated, like 2 poles, whatever. But they were close enough, but they were separated. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. And number 7, I've got to keep losing my spot. I have to scroll down my spot. Do not, there is no guarantees of healing. Understand that Reiki is a complementary therapy, and there are no guarantees of miraculous healing. It may support the animal's overall well-being, but should not replace conventional veterinary care when needed. So please do not put yourself into a corner and say that this is miraculous healing, because every single animal is different, just like every single person is different, and they're on their walk. This is why it's super important to approach the animal or people with, this healing is for the benefit of the higher good of the animal or person, right? This is not a miraculous cure. This is a modality that helps conventional medicine or practices. Okay. It goes together. Always prioritize the well-being and comfort of the animal when using Reiki. Okay. If you are not experienced in working with animals, please consider seeking guidance from qualified animal Reiki practitioners or animal behavior experts. And additionally, consult with a veterinarian is crucial for addressing any health issues in the animals. Like prime example, if your horse is colicking, please seek veterinarian medicine. I can assist with energy moving, but the horse will need veterinarian care and could need 24-hour observation or possibly surgery. But I can assist in healing and helping the animal in the stressful situation. I'm not replacing a vet. Like, my vet knows when I call him, he's like, oh, okay, there's something she can't handle or she can't figure out or do. And typically it's like, well, I need a little help here. He's like, all right, come on. So these are the do's and don'ts of working with animals in Reiki. And I hope that you hear them, appreciate them, and value them. This is also a lifelong journey in expressing energy and healing to animals. Even before I didn't realize what I was doing, I was saying prayers, please heal them, and they would heal. And so it's a beautiful practice. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll bring some more stuff going forward. Maybe some clients will let me share some videos of me working on their animals, so you just don't keep seeing the same animals over and over again. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the link in the description below, as well as website. So much love and light to each and every one of you. Be safe around the animals and be the light bearers that you are.